Israel's attacks on Iran sent oil prices surging on Friday. U.S. oil benchmark prices jumped about 7%. Now, this is the most volatility seen in the market since Russia's offensive began in Ukraine back in 2022. But despite those moves, oil still remains below pandemic-era highs. Major disruptions for air travelers in the region as well. Much of the airspace over the Middle East has now been closed, and it will remain that way indefinitely. This map from Flight Radar 24 shows zero air traffic over Iran, Israel, and really much of the rest of the region, which typically sees thousands of flights each day. Major carriers say they have diverted or canceled their flights altogether. Now, with us for more analysis of this developing story is academic and Middle East expert Edmund Ghareeb. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking time.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Edmund, let's talk a bit about this, because last night the U.S. was really distancing itself from this attack, saying it was a unilateral assault by Israel. The United States had nothing to do with it, and Donald Trump basically warned Iran, stay away from U.S. assets in the Middle East and elsewhere. But now, once the attack came back from Iran to Israel, the United States helped to try and knock down those missiles, those drones. How does this change the narrative, and what does it do for people in Israel who have been saying all along that the United States certainly was complicit in this?
That's a very good point, actually. That's what we have been hearing from a number of Israeli officials who have spoken to reporters, American reporters, as well as others, and saying that the United States knew about this, and the U.S. sort of gave the green light. In addition to that, President Trump, who earlier the day before said that while Iran is adopting a tougher position, he's still looking forward to the meetings and to negotiations, and there was supposed to be a meeting in Oman on Sunday, the 6th round of negotiations. Yet, in an interview that he gave today, or that appeared today with the New York Post, he said he knew the day that this attack was going to take place. So if he knew the day that this attack was going to take place, why didn't he stop it? If he he always said he wanted to end wars that the U.S. has intervened and interfered in a number of areas, and that there have been involvement in endless wars. But it seems that this was a war that he could have stopped.
Yeah. Edmund, it also seems like one of the major sticking points in those talks, which I don't think anybody expects the next round to go on in Amman on Sunday, but the sticking point had been that Iran believes it has the right to enrich uranium, that it has said it is not going to be used for military purposes. The U.S. earlier had apparently been somewhat open to that, talking about it, but obviously Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel leaning on the United States, saying, look, we don't want that to happen. Do you think that that had an effect on President Trump, and that's one reason that these talks kind of went off the rails?
Actually, that's one of the points that I think is very, very important. We don't know enough yet. There have been reports recently that the administration, for example, has removed some figures, including, for example, the National Security Council advisor, the former Congressman Mike Waltz, because he said that we have to take a tough line with Iran, and Iran does not, basically something similar to Iran only understands force. So there are also a number of others who have taken a tough line, and also there were a number of officials who apparently were contacting Israeli officials and dealing with them, as Ron Dermer, who's the strategic advisor of Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Right.
So that raises a lot of questions. I mean, what was going on? Was this really, did the president come under a lot of pressure, or was this a deception that some people believe that's what it was, to divert attention and to allow Israel to continue with this attack?
Yeah, Edmund, we don't have a lot of time, but let's talk about oil. If this becomes full-blown war, what is it going to do to oil prices, and it really becomes quite a tinderbox, the entire region?
Clearly, I mean, this is one of the dangers that many people have warned against if there was a broader war in the Middle East, because prices are going to spike. Investors are going to shift their investments from the region to to safe haven assets. I think crude oil at the same time will jump, and it has already jumped. I saw one figure that said something, it went about 10%. I don't know, maybe even higher than that. So basically, there has been this issue. If you close the Straits of Hormuz, it's a very, very dangerous situation, because it will have impact on numerous countries. About 30% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. We also have seen the Houthis, for example, were able to stop the trade with Israel as Israel was attacking Gaza because of their attacks on ships going to Israel through the Red Sea. So basically, this would have far-ranging and wide effects on the whole, not just on the region, but on the world as a whole.
Yeah. Edmund, we have about 45 seconds left. Israel did its best to decapitate Iran's military last night. Was it successful, and what are you looking for in the days ahead?
Clearly, I think there's no doubt that this was a very successful attack. Many of the top military leaders, some of the nuclear scientists were killed, but I don't think that this will necessarily change the minds of Iran. Iran is a big country. It has a large army. It has many scientists, many military leaders, and I'm concerned that there might be an expansion of this war that might bring in other players if it's not stopped sometime very quickly.
Indeed, a very, very, very tense time right now. Edmund Ghareeb, we cannot thank you enough for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.